y'all, it's Katie, and today I'm walking through 10 non-traditional things that we either did or didn't do at our wedding that I absolutely love. I actually just posted the first half of our honeymoon recap in Kauai, so feel free to go check that out. And then the Maui video is either going to be right before this one or right after it, so I'll tag that in here once it's posted. Side note, I forgot to say this at the beginning, but I'm going to have a full video of the breakdown of our wedding and how it all went. So this is just going to be a quick recap of some of the non-traditional things that we did, but a full video will be coming soon. So for the 10 things, I'm going to walk through them kind of in order of how they happened, and then also one of my favorites is kind of at the end. It wasn't really in the order, but I'll talk about that more in a sec. First thing that we did that was not very traditional was we had an uneven wedding party. So I actually had 9 bridesmaids and Josh had 6 groomsmen. Also, one of my bridesmaids was actually our officiant. So it was really 8 on one side and 6 on the other. And how we were able to do that was the guys were already standing up there when the girls walked up, so they came up individually, and then some of the guys were just taking 2 girls at a time on their way back. I thought it was really nice because we just got to invite whoever we wanted to our parties. It wasn't that we were trying to make up a number and find more people or cut people in order to make the perfect match, and I think it turned out really well. The second thing, which I feel like is something that I was going back and forth on whether or not to do, I did not wear white when I was getting ready. So I know a lot of people, when they get their getting ready outfits, they'll buy PJs and robes for the girls, and then the bride will always have a white version. I spent so long searching for the perfect white PJ outfit, and there was nothing that I could find that was similar to the girls but different enough that I stood out. I also really wanted PJs that were super comfy, and I could not find any that were cotton or sweatshirt material that were cute and white. I tried looking into satin ones and ended up not wanting those because they weren't the comfiest. Honestly, I found the perfect Target PJ set for the girls. I loved them in the navy color. I actually still wear them, which is something that was super important too. I didn't want to just get PJs for the day of that I would never wear again. So I wanted to make sure they were super comfy, and I loved the girls so much that I just ended up getting the navy one for myself as well, and it turned out perfect. The only thing that I did different was I wore a white undershirt and just kind of unbuttoned it a little bit, so that way I looked a little different, but it's really not that big of a deal. The third thing that we did was we attended our own cocktail hour. So because we did a first look and got all of our pictures out of the way before the actual ceremony, we really didn't have that many pictures to take during cocktail hour. I think we took a few family ones after the ceremony, and then Josh and I got to just roam around, talk to people, get drinks. Like, we were just enjoying cocktail hour with everyone. I think we got pulled away for sunset pics and the next thing that I'm going to talk about, but other than that, it was so cool to be able to see all the hard work and planning that you put into it in a part of the wedding that typically the bride and groom don't see. The fourth thing is our private dinner. Right at the end of cocktail hour, before everyone went in and got their food, Josh and I actually went to go have our own private dinner in the bridal suite. Our coordinator ended up getting us plates of everything, drinks, and it was all ready when we got there. So we literally just got to sit in there for like 10 or 15 minutes. We had some pictures and video go on, but really we were just sitting in there by ourselves eating dinner before we'd go talk to everyone at the actual dinner. This was one of my favorite things that we did, and it's something that I definitely recommend to people whenever they're asking like tips on wedding advice and what people should do. I know private dinners can be controversial because people say that you should want to spend that time with everyone and eat dinner with everyone, but honestly it worked out better because during dinner we were able to go around and talk to people while they were eating versus not being able to talk to them because we were also eating. This isn't my absolute favorite thing from the wedding, that's still to come, but this is definitely one of my top ones. The fifth one was not planned, but it was cowboy hats at the reception. My bridesmaids and I had cowboy hats from our bachelorette that we wore, and we were like, oh, let's just bring them while we're getting ready to be fun. All of the sudden, as we're about to do our grand entrance into the reception, all the girls have their hats on and I have mine on, and I feel like we ended up wearing them pretty much the whole night. It was not planned. It wasn't color coordinated at all. They were pink and all of our stuff was like blue and green or whatever, but it actually ended up being really cute and fun. Also, side note, some of my other friends that were guests all ended up buying cowboy boots that day when they came into town and then wore them at the wedding. So it was really fun just for people to be wearing like cowboy boots and cowboy hats when it just wasn't planned at all. The sixth thing is that we didn't do a garter toss. So I feel like that's becoming more and more popular that I've seen, but I did not wear a garter, did not feel that it was necessary for everyone to watch Josh get the garter from me and then toss it. So we just did not do that at all. The seventh thing is that we actually did a fake exit, and instead of sparklers, we used rose petals. So 2 parts of that. One, it's really expensive to have photographers and videographers for your entire day. So we did a package where it went through almost everything, but we didn't need like 4 hours of reception photos or whatever. So after a bit of dancing and stuff, we had planned it out where I was gonna do a fake exit, and that way also if people wanted to go home around that time, they wouldn't miss our grand exit, because we did end up having the venue pretty late. That way we could have like an after party but still at the reception. And then my choice for rose petals instead of sparklers. So I did not want to do an exit outside. I've seen a lot of people do it and it's really cute and pretty and I love how it lights up, but I just wanted to do something a little simpler, and I really liked how the rose petals looked and smelled, honestly. And I felt like it turned out to just be really cute and classic. Number 8. This one was also not planned. We ended up leaving our wedding in an Uber. So we originally had like a getaway car, but it turned out that something happened where the people who had rented it right before us actually, how much do I want to go into detail about this? It turns out that there was a problem with the getaway car that we had ordered. Something happened where we were not able to get it at the time we needed it. Honestly, I didn't even know this was all happening behind the scenes. I just realized that once I got into the car at the end of the night, this is not the car that I thought it would be. It actually turned out to be a bigger car. It's just like a big SUV or something, which I love. Turns out because we weren't able to get the original car, my parents had to call an Uber for us to leave the venue so we could have a ride back. So honestly, really wasn't that big of a deal, but I feel like leaving in an Uber is not something that you would traditionally do. Number 9, so this is actually my favorite thing on the list, which is gonna sound a little weird at first, but when we left the wedding, we actually didn't go somewhere where we're like alone. So typically the bride and groom will like go to their own hotel suite or whatever. But because of how we did the housing for the weekend, we had our entire wedding party, so like bridesmaids, groomsmen, their plus ones, and then our immediate family all stay on this huge wildlife preserve in Hill Country. It was the coolest thing ever. We had all this grounds for a pool, and that's where we ended up having our rehearsal dinner and stuff as well. So it was just a nice big hangout place. Since we were staying on site here for the full weekend, Josh and I did have one of the houses to ourselves, but we just took the getaway car back to our headquarters, which is what we called it, and then all of our bridal party and stuff followed in our shuttles that we had. We weren't actually alone right after the reception. We were hanging out with people all night, just chilling on the grounds, but I honestly would not trade that for the world. I feel like that is the best experience because you get to party all night long with your friends and family. And the last thing that we did, I've been seeing it a lot more, but I know this was something that came across as super not traditional. So because we didn't do gifts, we actually did a charity registry for 2 different causes that Josh and I are really passionate about. But if people actually wanted to give us something physical, we actually asked for letters that we are planning to open on our 1-year anniversary. So any type of advice or just fun things to say. We just had a little box open with pens and paper and envelopes that people could write little notes to us and put them in there. So we've collected all of those and we are excited to open those at the end of this year. So that's just a quick list of the main non-traditional stuff we did at our wedding. I'm sure there are a few more things. I may talk about it in the big video that I'm planning for our wedding overview. I hope this is helpful if you're planning a wedding and maybe looking into some non-traditional things that you're interested in. It's okay to do what you want. It's your wedding and you should be able to do things at your wedding that reflect you as a couple and what y'all personally believe in. Thank y'all so much for watching to the end of this video and see y'all soon. Bye!